8% of Scotland's electricity. Clean air should be considered more as we share the EU, as we share markets, etc. Just a word, literally, on the Bible's teaching here. This wisdom is not just something that is foreseen in the Old Testament. We also have it in specific Christian writings in the Bible. Most especially here, I think for us in Hastings, the Colossians 1:15 to 20, a favorite text seized on by Teilhard de Chardin and the Jesuit students and scholastics at Orr Place when the later famous Teilhard was here. And in there, in verse 17, you have what always was Chardin's favorite text in the whole Bible. He exists before all, and in him all things cohere. He exists before all things, and all things cohere in him. Colossians 1:17. Just think of that. And Teilhard traveled, China, Russia, everywhere you know, the States, France, always fascinated by this idea in the stones. He studied in the mountains, in the hills, that Christ is within this. So it's really contradiction to think that we can exit from our life place without exiting from life. We need regional unions, community cooperation to survive, as at least was inchoately recognized by the founders of Europe and the European bioregion. We are a biodiverse, natural bioregion here in Europe, aren't we? And to recognize that, accept that, cooperate within that, that's just a wonderful thing. We need so much more than economic growth, trade, export, import, common market, reclaiming our borders, customs union, and that type of jargon. The conflicts and worries about Brexit should teach us how good and important our European Union is. With the encouragement of the leaders, European Union leaders, we could help our young people eliminate much of their debts, which make life miserable and don't assist their bioregion and ours. A good example of this, I think, is the silly loans that they're paying for cars. Why not share transport more? Eliminate the need and glorification of cars. Gee, when I moved into this just 21 years ago, for the Quiet Crescent in Collington, just down Collington Mansions, Megan Trace. It was a lovely, peaceful place. But then this big company took over that huge modernist eyesore on Collington Avenue. At that time, it was called Hastings Independent Building Society. And they called themselves Hastings Direct. They were very kind of keen on cars. And recently I saw something from the director of Hastings Direct, and he said, we have six regional headquarters. Our main one is in a quiet southeastern coastal town. Well, they are minutes walk from Collington Hall, literally minutes from that wonderful little halt we have there. Buses at their doorstep. And they could have one driver and passenger for the car if they shared them, if they insisted on coming in cars. And you see what they've done down there. They love to pile all over people's homes, right along the verges of people's homes. I try to talk to a lot of these young people. Some of them are listening. Others don't understand. And as so often, I must share with you, our lovely lady generation, a young girl who kept putting her car, right up against our garage practically. I was telling her some of this, and she said, you own your house, you own the driveway to your garage, but you don't own the road. And if you don't like the laws here, go back where you came from. Attractive young lady, I've never seen her since. A different bioregion includes, at least potentially, different biodiversity services for alternative energies, again, which we can share with our own and other bioregions. The waves and tides, for example, not just Scandinavia, but the UK too. Winds, again, the UK, and sun, just think of Spain and Portugal, Italy, and ourselves. Again, we do pretty well, don't we? We cannot leave our ocean. We've got an ocean expert here, also now interested in the film, and it's wonderful having somebody interested, an expert in ocean. Cannot leave our shared oceans, can we? And all that means. Think of the bioregional food. We're so fortunate, aren't we? Think of oranges and olives as well as apple trees. Food production is essential to life and a major ingredient of biodiversity and bioregionalism. Conditional orchards are very rare in the UK. Only 94 square miles of them left now. We just went to Worcestershire. I was giving a talk